Hey everyone, and welcome to our weekly Unreal Engine Twitch live stream. Today we're going to be talking over 4.6. We've got technical director Mike Fricker,
Hey.
engine general manager Ray Davis,
Hello.
and senior platform programmer Dimitri here to talk over Linux really quick.
He's going to drop a Linux bomb on you.
Oh yeah. All right. So first we've got a little bit of news to go over. We're going to be at GCAP. Shelly, if you don't mind. Yeah, so we're sending some guys down to Australia.
Accent number one.
Right. Ray keeps wanting me to do accents.
How many territories?
We're sending a few guys down to, actually they're already there, to
Yep.
GCAP in Australia to do some talks. So on our website, our blog, we've got the details of it all here, but it looks like Zach Parrish, James Tan, Jay Wilbur, Joe Graff, some guys from Uppercut. And they'll be there on the 28th and 29th. Afterwards, they'll be hanging around PAX Australia. So if you see those guys, come say hey.
Little known fact about Joe Graff, he loves hugs, so give him a hug.
Oh yeah, everyone should just hug him.
At least 5 hugs.
I kind of want to hug him all the time.
Don't even need to shake his hand first.
Just rush in there. He loves it that way.
And in other conference news, Leo Gonzalez from our community in Austin is doing a Unreal Engine workflow primer at Captivate on Sunday the 26th. So if you're going to be at the conference, go there and check it out. Leo's at Certain Affinity. He is a VFX environment artist. You may have seen the TDK scene from the last shot in Blade Runner remade in UE4 by forum user Jack Carver. That's Leo's work. So if you missed that, it's on our community spotlight running list. Really cool stuff. I'm really looking forward to hearing back from the talk from him. So definitely go check that out.
Cool.
And then marketplace updates. Every week we try to get more content up to the marketplace, and so Deeks posted this new one here. Looks like we've got movement animation set from Kubold. Some of his stuff is really, really great.
This is awesome, yeah.
Yeah, we've really liked some of the stuff he's got there.
Nice.
There's a weapon equip system with slots and anchor points on hands
Yep.
from Critical Gameware. And Yuhu's Ground Materials by Yuhu's.
Are you sure you're pronouncing that one right?
I think so.
Yughus, maybe?
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
And then Manufacturer K4 back with some background mountains
Awesome.
to pepper the scene
It
with.
feels like we're getting to the point where we're getting some interesting blueprint, like
Yeah.
like more gameplay framework type
Well, and
marketplace
then
add-ons.
the ledge climbing, that one's
Yeah.
coming in the pipe soon.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we should see that one any day now.
That one was awesome.
So cool. Yeah, so go check those out on Marketplace now.
Yep. Cool.
And on to Community Spotlight. This one's been making the rounds for the last couple days, I believe. This was a Kotaku article from a project called God Left Me. And it's basically, well, I'm just going to play the trailer because it's just great.
It is great.
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
Does this remind you of the level at Dark Souls 1, right? Like when you get to the, God, I forgot, Anolondo or something like that? Looks amazing. Do we have audio?
Yeah, Shelly, does audio come across on this?
I think
I think we do it like YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
got it. It's silent on our end here, so we're
yeah.
We'll just
Yeah.
have our own dialogue.
just looks really great. I mean,
This is a group of students.
yes,
yeah.
right.
7
Like-
students out of.
Montreal National
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, let me pull it up real
Yeah, it's
quick.
incredible.
Yeah, Montreal's National Animation and Design Center took 7 weeks and 7 students made this entire, gameplay scene. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, looks good. Oh,
So yeah, that's not creepy at all.
bad shit's gonna happen, I can tell.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. I think this is like happy time, right?
He's gonna go hug somebody, we can tell.
Why is he going into the church? You never go into the church.
Or the crypts?
Oh,
yeah.
the catacombs.
Yeah, because when you see demonic stuff happening in a church, you go down to where the dead bodies are.
that's my first instinct.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So what is going on? Is this a standalone demo? Are they going to release this?
Yeah, I don't know if they. I don't think they mentioned any plans of anything else, but I would love to see.
Prototype.
Yeah, I would love to
This
see.
feels like an awesome game in the making, right?
I know. I'd love to see more from this team.
Definitely. Shelly putting the smack down.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
bringing the heat.
Has kind of like that super creepy vibe from like Ethan Carter, but
Yeah.
more interactive with the full third-person character
Yeah.
pushing on things.
Believable limp.
That poor guy, man. He just needs to sit down for a minute.
I know. There's plenty of chairs and pews.
Oh, yeah. Take a break. Contemplate your existence for a moment.
Oh, shit. Yeah. The first time I saw that, I was like,
No.
whoa, that doesn't make me feel uncomfortable at all.
Oh, maybe this is the new Ghostbusters movie they're going to be working on, right?
Oh, yeah. But no Harold Ramis, right?
Now you made me sad.
May he rest in peace. All
All
right.
right, cool.
Yeah. Some really cool stuff there.
Yeah, let's cut out right before the good part. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, fine.
There you go. See, big badass dude breaking shit. Okay.
It's probably better with audio. We can't hear anything.
Yeah.
No, I like it when Chance makes audio for us. Awkward groans. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Sorry, I'm genuine.
All right, let's go look at PAZ.
All right, yeah. Project Apocalypse. This is another one that came across our forums. It's a team in Brazil, and it's pretty awesome looking. It's zombie combat with a dude in an awesome white coat. And let's see. Okay, great. Yeah, so it's a single player and co-op. That's what they're building.
You don't wear a white coat when you're gonna go
Yeah,
kill
I know.
zombies.
It's like, what color would be the best for this?
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
You gotta
really.
kill zombies with style, right? Yeah.
There's 3 playable characters. One of them is a dude in a wheelchair with a shotgun, which is really awesome because it looks like he can't like shoot unless he's stationary. So yeah, this is just really great.
It's like a. Almost supposed to be like an Antonio Banderas movie here, right?
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Oh, like, it's a pretty cool jib system here, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a badass shotgun.
Yeah, and they're already greenlit too. So I'd love to see how quickly this can get to market because I'd play this.
I'd play it too.
Looks like a lot of fun.
Cool, nice work.
Yeah, it's from the game Wall. So great stuff. Watch that team for sure. And let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, this is a blood vessel. So let's hop to the
it's like
video
inner
first.
space.
Oh, VR. Awesome.
Yeah, so this guy is building like the inside of a blood vessel with, blood cells and everything, and it's got education applications. So he's thinking about building a like full heart with ventricles and
Yeah.
all the valves and stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, there's another video on here where he's got the VR up and running, and he's got white blood cells even too in there that he's using like particle emitters for. So.
It'd be awesome to take a project like this and then actually hook it up to like an MRI or something like that, so you could like real-time procedurally model what's actually happening inside
Oh
your body.
yeah, get all that information back up.
Oh, that's cool. We saw another team that had like a full-on surgery kind of thing going on. It was
Yeah.
soft bodies that you could poke and pull.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Please tell me he does have the inner space Easter egg in there, though. It's got to be on the roadmap.
You just see them floating by. And
Yeah.
But yeah, there's let's see.
What's
Yeah,
up?
here's actually I already got pulled up here. This is it running already in VR.
VR YouTube.
Health and safety warning: you are inside a body. If you cross your eyes just right.
Cool.
Cool.
Anyway, super cool.
It's an interesting project. So is this is he at a school now, or is this just an educational
No, I
focused
think yeah, it's
project?
just working on a blood vessel demo. Didn't mention anything about school. Just talking about
Oh.
educational application with it. So
Cool.
I'd love to see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we've got a a coastal work in progress here by Ulrich Thummler.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it hasn't quite built the architectural visualization part out for this yet, but
Oh, cool.
you can see really cool. Like it's got the
Where's going?
sand pulled back out into the water from the shore, and
Yeah.
really, really great looking water. I mean, just
Yeah.
really big fan of that. And then down here, different time of day stuff. So
Awesome.
kind of a project to keep an eye on. I think he's building out right here. You can see some of the building that's going to be sitting here against the coast.
Mm-hmm.
So
That house that I will never be able to afford.
yeah, but you can in the engine. You can just build it.
And then with VR, it'll be like I live there. It'll be amazing.
I know.
Definitely like
Cool.
a difficulty bonus here going with the shoreline
Yeah.
and water in the midst of architecture. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
time of day and whatnot. It's like, it definitely,
Yeah.
that's awesome though.
Yeah.
The sand dunes.
Yeah, I've asked him for a video so I can, kind of see what's going on. He said he's going to get me one whenever, he's got the actual building modeled out, so
Yeah.
that way we can see
Yeah.
what it comes to. But it's like all realism, like the entire scene is everything about it. He's aiming for hyper realism, so looking really cool.
Yep.
Cool.
And then one more. This is a Japanese pagoda. This is a really long video, so I'm going to hop to a couple of specific parts in it really quick. This is, as you can read, Sebastian Schulz. So yeah, let's see. This is just a gigantic scene, which is why it takes 5 minutes to fly through it. So I'm just going to come forward to right in
Looks
here.
like China.
Yeah, there's some good good reflections in here.
Oh, no, it's
and-
Japan.
Japan.
Yeah. Around the bell and let's see. I really want to see the gong hit it, or the hammer hit the gong, but
A lot of build up to this.
I know.
Version 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I wish that mouse would go away. Then we'll hop over here to right around 2.5 minutes. Let's see. Yeah, we kind of go inside this temple. Like the whole video series is walking through all these different areas. This thing is gigantic.
Does this one end with like Okami just fly on the screen? Totally teases.
This actually leads into Project Apocalypse. It all starts in Japan.
This is where the zombies were first conceived.
Right.
Nice.
So yeah, and then one more right past here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Kind of comes back down. And it's got good architecture, good foliage, water. Mountains in the background are really nice looking.
This is very cool. Is he building a game of this? Is it,
I think it's just there's like an art reel, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Cool.
just posted as that. Yeah. All right. And with that, we'll
Cool.
be
Good
flipping it
job.
over to Dimitri to give us an update on Linux.
It's all
Yeah.
you, man.
All right.
4.5 is the first release which has a Linux editor, some kind of Linux editor. And I want to thank our awesome community for making it happen.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have a running joke that the full support will be in October 2025.
Oh no. A little sooner than that. Right?
Well, let's say we have some kind of Linux editor, so we already started on that. But yeah, we will continue to rely on community for foreseeable future for QA and stuff like that, because we're trying to get more people involved on our side too, but the reality is that not everyone wants to use Linux, unfortunately. Well,
Someday they'll see the light. They'll understand
Yeah.
why it's so.
yeah, we will make it happen.
Yeah.
Do we have Raspberry Pi support yet?
Yeah, that's
You can-
next.
We actually don't have any specific goals for 4.6. There are some major issues on basically every side. For client, we will continue to work with Unreal Tournament team to make sure that Unreal Tournament on Linux is really playable and performant. If that needs support from driver from NVIDIA, we'll make it happen too.
Yeah, we're doing that both for both the servers on Linux and clients running on
Yeah.
Linux, right? Yeah. So it's the full experience. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think servers on Linux is something that we
We've
care a lot about, right?
Yeah.
Well, but that's the easy. Like we supported, Linux servers in UE3,
Yeah.
but having like the full robust client on there is awesome as well.
And the editor.
Yep.
So yeah, it's great that in 4.5, so anyone can get the code from GitHub and build Linux editor.
Yeah. Well, right now we need to understand that we are not yet at the point where you can just hop in and build a Unreal Tournament from inside Linux. I mean, using the Linux editor and the tools. And it's probably not going to happen in 4.6 and 4.7 too. We'll see. Do not wait for us. Go ahead of us. We will try. Yeah, we will try to consider every PR.
Well, I think, I mean, we definitely want to get there. We're not sure the full timeline. We are looking at actually augmenting more folks on our side, bring in some more programmers to help with Linux, so it's not for just Dimitri by himself trying to, get overwhelmed by the community effort there.
Which actually, we will. We're reaching out to other contractors. if there is a quality, if we can come to the terms, then we might consider hiring.
Cool.
So,
I mean, I think eventually, like, we would, of course, want the launcher to be able to start up on Linux and
Oh,
get
yeah.
with a binary.
yeah, that's
Have we
the
even
goal.
tried compiling the launcher
Well,
for Linux?
Maybe.
We should. It's probably not crazy
You know,
to get it working.
It's not crazy. I do not want to do that because it would suggest that if we distribute
Yeah.
binaries,
Oh, yeah, I know we're
Yeah.
not ready yet.
a lot of people would think like, oh, now they have the official
Yeah.
support. And while we support, the quality bar is not there, and we will be swamped with the issues. Right now, when you build it from sources, you kind of have a different connection to that. You build it yourself. You know what it takes. You run into bugs first, and you don't expect things just to work. So that probably binary distribution is yeah, probably binary distribution is still a few releases away. Yeah, but if you are an active contributor, you can have a compensated subscription. We already did it for a few people. So I basically go ahead and do not wait for us.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's it.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Dimitri.
Yeah. Thanks for coming hang out with us, man.
Cool. All right. Shall we jump into talking about 4.6? What we're going to be doing there?
Are we? I thought we were done.
Are we done? Oh, okay. Let me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I ruined my mic. Hold on.
See you, Dimitri. Thanks.
Yeah, so we have 4.6 stuff to talk about, and kind of just new initiatives, anything that's changed on the roadmap. Is roadmap up to date right now? It was updated like a week ago, I think.
Yeah. I believe we updated it last week. We did
Yeah.
our monthly planning update. I think probably, well, there's a couple big things. So 4.6 will continue to have a lot of effort around mobile, right? There's some continued efforts there from compatibility and workflow. I think we hinted at some of the stuff with 4.5, but like platform readiness or game
That's right.
readiness, right? Some really useful just data about where your project is, what kind of features are going to work on what platforms and all that. So we'll continue to improve that. And by no means are we going to be complete with that and walk away with 4.6. This is sort of an ongoing effort, especially it feels like there's constantly new devices popping up and new capabilities and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, in 4.5 we added the on the new project screen you can configure, hey, I'm making a project for mobile, not necessarily desktop, and you can choose kind of your quality threshold that you want to start with, and we'll set some initial settings for you. So that's kind of just the first step, though.
Yep.
In 4.6 we're hooking up more stuff to that, and we're making the editor UI for configuring the target platform for your game affect more useful things in the engine for you.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of part of it. There's like a dozen different mobile initiatives happening.
Yeah, well, even, like I said, compatibility, performance optimizations there, both on runtime and deployment sides, helping you just get set up. I know, especially when it comes to Android, it can be a bit of a pain still just to get everything set up and figure out, it's always our goal, whether it's, DK2 for like a latest VR device or whatever, if it's plugged in and the engine can just make it work, we'll make it work, right? So we'll continue on those efforts, and rendering features and all that good stuff. But yeah. What other big things are we talking about in 4.6?
Okay. I mean, should we talk about the technical advisory board that we did?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so, we're always interested in getting feedback, from all different teams using the engine. One of the things we've had in the place for a while now is a tech advisory board for some of our partners like Lionhead. We've got some folks from Sony as well, and Yager.
Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft. And we invited a bunch of their technical directors out there. These are teams that have been using the engine quite large
For a
teams.
long time,
Yeah,
some of them as long as we have.
No, Black Tusk was actually our first team to pick up UE4, right? And so they've been really helpful. And as we make progress on the engine, just like we're working with you guys, we've done some stuff, making some progress. Here's our updated plans. Get more feedback on the areas that would be most beneficial for them. And really our goal is to identify as much as we can the core set of features that overlap across all developers of all sizes, right? It's not always easy, right? Different teams are making different things. I think one of the big concerted efforts that we can talk in more depth here is moving forward, a big focus for us is going to be on large world support. And like that's not just features or world size. I mean, it's the whole thing, right? We talk about workflow. How do you actually build these things? You know,
Yep.
we've got World Browser today,
Yep.
but we've got a lot of ideas of how to improve that moving forward.
Yep, it's everything from how you create big worlds, the editor performance, so you can deal with just tons of objects.
Stuff, right.
Tools to help you fill a world quicker, right? Like
Yeah.
that's things that we're thinking about too.
Yeah. So you don't need 1,000 people to actually populate the,
Yep.
the massive environments, right?
Yep.
And also I think there's some magic there of like, clearly some people have done procedural large worlds before, but how do you make it more meaningful content or make it easy to go in there and make it interesting content that you can create cool novel gameplay around, right?
Yep.
And the thing is like it is the full stack that we're looking at, right? From the end user experience all the way to the fundamentals, like the work that Rob's team is doing around like multi-threading object creation, for example, right?
And asynchronous loading,
Yeah.
getting async loading hitch free.
Yep.
Actually, async loading right now happens on the main thread, kind of like time sliced, and I think in 4.6 it's going to happen on its own thread,
Oh, wow,
so
that's
it'll be
nice.
much more efficient. You'll
Yeah.
be able to GC while it's happening.
Being able to DQ things, right? If something's streaming in and then the
Yep,
player
you can
decides
cancel
I'm going to do a 180,
It's super important to do that.
Yeah.
Really important.
And you'll see a lot of tools around just telemetry of what's going on, right? Which is useful for any project, not just large worlds, but like, what are your IO stats? What's being streamed in? What's being streamed out? What's eating up memory? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We're making some changes too, just in the editor to make it easier for large worlds. We're going to add units to things. So right now, Unreal units are basically centimeters, but so we'll just call them centimeters and allow you to type things at different units.
No more Unreal units.
Well,
Is
I'm
that
kind of sad
completely
about
done?
that.
Well,
you use?
We might allow it to be customized. Obviously, if you're maybe making a galaxy-sized game, you can interpret those units however you want.
Right.
But I think most people would rather see kind of what they're dealing with, and being able to type things in meters or kilometers, I think will be fun. So things like that. We're bumping up world max by default. So basically, the world size right now is about
10 kilometers?
No, 5 kilometers in world size, and so half that. So we're gonna. I think the plan is to quadruple that. We've been doing testing. We're gonna do some more testing, but for 4.6 we're gonna try and set the world size to about 20 kilometers square. So that's
quite large.
That's really good. And then that's before.
It's not small.
No, it's not small, and more likely you're likely to run into other problems
Right.
making a world that big, and that we'd also work on. And that's before you even take into account the world composition feature,
Right.
which lets you have worlds as big as you want conditionally.
Basically, there is no real limit of how big of a world you could make, right? Because you just stream in another 20 kilometer chunk, right?
Yep, that's right. Yep. So the next steps for us is like making sure that streaming is good, making sure the texture streaming is set up right. LOD is like a big thing that we're gonna have to figure out. Like, how do you manage this sort of these groups of objects that need like reduced to like a reasonable number of draw calls?
Yeah, and I wouldn't underestimate. I mean, in all the games, even the games that weren't particularly, hell, even making Gears of War, small environments, doing good LODs that weren't like, the classic draw distance popping fog, like it takes a lot of work. And when you have just a massive environment with no constraints, you have no control over line of sight like you do in a more structured environment.
Yep.
It's a big pain in the ass. So we're very cognizant there's a lot of work for us there. And I say you'll probably start seeing some of the foundational hints of that and a couple things in 4.6, but this is not an effort that we're going to be done with right away. This is going to be something 4.7 and 4.8 probably.
Yep. It's kind of like the usability initiative that we talked about in weeks and months past.
Yeah.
It's sustained, right? We're going to just keep working on that.
Oh, one of the most exciting things, we're getting the rendering guys all excited about foliage and lighting and all kinds of cool stuff that especially we see like those architectural visualization projects, man. I can't wait to make those look even more amazing through the work that we're going to pull off there.
Yep.
That'll be very awesome. There's a lot of other cool stuff. Well, like some of the accessibility stuff that's definitely landing for 4.6. Do we want to talk about the template packs? Have we talked about that yet?
I don't think we have. I
Okay.
mean, some of the features will be landing in 4.6, so I don't think that it's too early to start talking about it. But the idea, I mean, do you want to take a shot at explaining it?
Okay, so when you guys first started with template games in UE4, I think the goal was, back before you start up the editor, you got basically nothing, a bunch of UI, and good luck. Hope you can figure it out, right?
Yep.
So the first step was to introduce these template games, and I think we've got a pretty robust I mean, there's always more that we keep adding,
Right.
like we did the twin stick shooter and stuff like that. But the idea is like
Oh, I just thought we should totally have had Robot James roll in here for this part.
Yeah, where's
It's
Robot
like-
James?
But
Oh,
anyways, missed opportunity.
I think he's getting on a plane, but anyways.
Someday we'll get Robot James on the stream.
He's a teleconferencing robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's based out of the UK. He moved his family there a couple
Yeah, some of
months
you
ago.
have met him at EGX, other places. James Golding. He comes to a lot of our meetings via iPad Segway.
Yeah, it's
So,
pretty cool. He'll
yeah.
actually be in town next week. Maybe we'll have to
That's
drop
not a
him
bad
on
idea.
the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about time. No. But as I say, with the template games, they give you a great out of the box, like, hey, I want to go build a shooter or side scroll or whatever. We can help you get that over that initial hump. But we realize, like, sometimes that gets you too far, or really you want the option to be able to pick and choose different components and mix and match. And once we kind of get to that, we can get this cool combinatorial thing where I'm like, I want a first-person camera with a dude that jumps and has jetpacks and a
Yeah.
HUD, and like, rather than give you this one giant chunk of things, let you kind of build it dynamically as you go.
Modular buffet of
Nuggets.
gameplay features.
Nuggets, in fact.
Nuggets.
That
was the first
I think
thing we
about a year ago, I was saying nuggets, nuggets 3v4.
feature packs.
But I think the other really cool distinction about this is, like, right now, template is like a one-time creation choice you make. What we're doing now is, like, at any point in your project, you'll be able to pull in these templates or pieces or packs, whatever, nuggets. You'll be able to nuggify your project at any point to add additional thing. Which then, I think, hopefully, if we do a good job here, which eventually we will definitely do a good job here.
Not the first time though.
Yeah, maybe not the first time. We got to iterate and learn sometimes, right? We're pretty transparent here. That if we build this, much like with what we're trying to do with the tutorial system, is build a nice framework so that the community can go do all kinds of awesome things that we haven't even thought of, and that's my sincere hope. People are constantly making cool stuff.
Yeah, cool. So a piece of this will be in 4.6. I'm pretty sure that's the goal at least. We'll see.
Yeah, I think we had to scope down. We were going to do them all, and now we're kind of like a starting set, which I think actually probably is a better approach. Of let's try it with a few things and see,
Yep.
get a better sense of what's going to work and doesn't work.
So it might be that we keep the idea of templates around because they're certainly useful for just, I want to get up and running real quick.
Yeah.
But they may end up just being a predefined set of these feature packs that
Yeah.
get plopped into your project. That's the current thinking.
Starter combos or something. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, combo packs. Sure.
Cool. All right. What other cool stuff is coming?
Combo pack with like nuggets and fries and
I'm gonna go get you some nuggets. It's fine.
Let's take this Bluetooth keyboard.
All right.
So we can talk about the state of HTML5.
Yeah.
yes.
It's not quite ready. Won't quite be ready for 4.6. I got the update from Josh today.
Yeah.
It's so close.
And it's we all want to get there. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of enthusiasm.
And it works. You can use
Yeah.
it. It's just not in the binary version of the engine. So you can grab the GitHub and totally.
Yeah.
So and we're QAing it and we're improving it every release. And we've done a lot of improvements in the last month, particularly.
Yeah.
There's a few compatibility, like it works on Mozilla, but development configuration doesn't work on Chrome. Like a few things like this that we're just still getting through.
Yeah, it's complicated for two things. Like, one, we can solve on our side, which is at some point we want to also to selective platform downloads in the launcher. So you know, we like same
yes.
with Linux.
Yep.
You don't have to download everything. You're like, I care about Android and HTML5
Right.
and not iOS or something like that. The other option right now, we have no choice. We just have to give you everything, which kind of sucks for those people on limited bandwidth. The other part is just HTML5 and standardizing that stuff. It moves kind of slow, and I think there's an interesting competition, obviously, between Mozilla and Chrome teams and everybody. So we're doing our best there. It'll definitely get there someday. So.
Yep. Another platform thing is the hot reload feature for C++ now works on Mac. In 4.5, like it was a little bit rough, so that's something that we shored up. And so 4.6 will have proper Mac hot reloading from Xcode, just like Visual Studio does.
Yep.
I think we got all the platformy stuff. Maybe we'll talk about some of the editor changes.
Okay. Yeah.
So the first one, we're integrating web browsing support into the editor. So we'll have a new kind of widget type that lets you have a full, I think it's a full CEF style Chromium type thingy going on. So if your editor plugin, or more likely your game, has need for a browser that you can run as part of your game, and forward to your own content or wherever. I feel like it's fairly unrestricted how you use it. You'll be able to get that up and running right inside a regular Slate widget or UMG widget soon, and you have a full-on browser, web browser that's pretty much full-featured as Chromium. So
Yeah.
it's the real deal. make no mistake, it's not a UI system. This isn't like what, say, Coherent, for example, is.
Right.
Like,
They're a little more robust in that regard.
Our UI system is Slate and UMG.
Yeah.
This is a browser that you could use as part of that as one control if you want to show someone like, oh, like here's a message of the day or a login framework or something like that. Something that many people have requested, and we are also have cool uses for coming up. So
Yeah.
just getting that in there.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to bootstrap a lot of early functionality in your project, and or stuff like doing embedding video playback and stuff becomes feasible as well, right?
Yep.
That's one thing we love to do, especially as we unlock this in the Unreal Launcher. We could even embed some of our. You could have Zach Parrish every day on your very own launcher, if that's your thing.
Yep.
But rather than having to expose links and then click you out, we can integrate more things into the experience and just remove all kinds of friction there. And then, like you said, being able to use that in my game, build it once, build a prototype. HTML5 is great for quick prototypes if you know that your thing, right?
Yep.
And it's like people can test it, right? Like you have to have a device for it, right?
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Some other editor stuff. We've continued to improve the mesh importing path. So in 4.5, we've greatly simplified what the boxes look like as you're importing meshes. In 4.6, they're even more simplified. We have customizable transforms. So while you're importing, you can scale and rotate things at the sort of the last second.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's kind of non-destructive. So later, you can go back to that mesh and change those things. Currently, you can only change scale. Now you'll be able to move the pivot around and all that stuff, and it will re-import automatically from the raw mesh data that was digested the first time. So kind of a cool feature there. There's some other stuff going on there. We're moving like context. We're trying to we found like our right-click menus are getting kind of big as we keep adding features. So
It happens.
squishing them down. It's like
Yeah.
you need constant attention.
I know in UE3, I feel like every 6 to 9 months I had to refactor the context menu one more time, right?
It just gets unwieldy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Although you guys are killing me. I finally got used to looking for create a copy instead of duplicate. And
we
now
put it back to
we put it to
duplicate.
duplicate. I'm like, what? I would just want to duplicate this damn thing. Where is it?
you can thank James for that one. I think.
Damn you, James. Thank you for listening to my feedback. But
Cool. So
talk about large world. Yeah. Massive LOD. It's going to be fun.
yeah, if anyone remembers UDK or UE3, we had a feature called Massive LOD, which was a system for basically making like proxy representations of distant objects
Yeah.
that could be loaded separately from everything else, and you could kind of hot swap them with a bunch of actors as they became relevant to the player. So it was great for doing like large world type stuff, but it was kind of a late addition to UE3, and we didn't have a game that actually used them, so it was a little bit unproven.
We were trying to have a game that used them.
We were trying. Yeah,
That's a different story.
yeah. So, but we were talking about large world, and so massive LOD 2.0, or kind of a hierarchical LOD system for distant objects and creating LODs. That's definitely something that we're totally psyched about getting started on.
Unreal OD.
Unreal LOD. Yeah.
Oh,
better
that's
name.
too terrible. Yeah, sorry.
The only one else.
Sorry, James.
No, the other cool thing too is like for like mobile or kind of lower profile devices, you have to do a lot of mesh merging and be cognizant of your draw calls in general.
Yeah.
This might be another great tool to do that in a
Yeah.
non-destructive way.
Yep.
Because in the past, you kind of have to go do that in Max or Maya and then import it as one giant thing, and then you lose the editability, which sucks.
Right.
So
Yeah, we have some tools in the engine right now, but the best tools in the engine require a Simplicon license in order to use, unfortunately.
yeah.
And they're still not quite as non-destructive as we would like. So part of this initiative will hopefully be to have built-in stuff that's pretty good,
Yep.
and is certainly easy to get hooked up.
Cool.
So Blueprint stuff.
Oh yes. I don't know. I'm in love with the new context menu. It finally does what I expect it to.
Oh, cool.
I don't know.
I actually I haven't tried it too much yet.
He hates blueprints, by the way.
I like to type C++.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah,
He hates fun.
He hates fun. Blueprints are fun. You get
Blueprints
totally
are fun.
You get in like a whole zen with it. I find is like drag click, drag click, drag click. I don't know.
I don't know.
Just do it for
I'm the
hours.
same way. Though, like I like to build in blueprints, and then once I like nail it down, then I'll just go code it. And I'm like,
Coding
okay,
is so
great.
tedious. You gotta like type every character, man. It's so
Push
slow.
God knows how many inners and semicolons.
Anyways,
I like to expose things from C++
Yeah.
2 blueprints. I
Yeah,
think that's
totally.
rewarding.
Yeah.
So we have the API docs for blueprints. I think they're online now, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we made much noise about it yet, but
I think Lauren was trying to. Yeah.
we're going to
Yeah.
do blog posts or something.
We're actually going to be doing a documentation Twitch stream in the future, going over a lot of the cool new stuff that's
Awesome.
happening
Sweet.
there. So.
Awesome.
So anyways, like just like we had C++ API
Unannounced.
reference, we got some Blueprint API
Yep.
stuff up there too. And I think it's linked straight from the editor too.
Did we talk about the linker stuff we're doing because of Blueprints, the circular dependency issue?
Kind of hard to explain, but
Well,
yeah,
I
I
know-
don't think we have.
I know it's come up, we've had this problem and people with their projects, sometimes you just get to a state where you were no longer able to open it. It's
Right.
because there were some issues with
Circular
Blueprints. We would create
dependencies.
it was not obvious.
And if you delete something, everything.
Yeah. So the good news is, instead of continuing to patch each one as we find it, we've just gone to the source of the issue,
Nuke from orbit.
nuke from orbit, fix the linker system. Yeah. And I think the funny thing about that linker, that's mostly 90% code that Tim himself wrote for the original Unreal. That's just like,
Yep.
there be dragons, don't go there. But we're digging in there. So
Yeah, there's a few core systems in Unreal that have held well enough, right? That
Yeah.
they haven't really been disturbed too much. Like,
well, I think the changes to like object construction is the first time anybody's probably done significant work on UObject even.
UE4 has had a lot of
Oh,
changes
okay.
there, even
Okay.
from the beginning. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we made UObjects lean and mean compared to UE3, but still, before then,
It was scary.
it
Yeah.
was probably
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, other Blueprint stuff going on. So
Big push on compile times too, which is
yes,
good.
oh yeah. So kind of phase one of the Blueprint compile times, which I know everyone wants.
Yep.
Nick Whiting and his team have been working on that. And I think for 4.6, we're going to have sort of phase one of those improvements. But it will be ongoing. They've identified a bunch of low-hanging fruit, which is awesome for us and you guys. So
Yep.
yay, faster compile times.
Cool.
So that should be coming.
And then a little further out, the merge tool is still work in progress.
Yep.
It's coming
We're
along.
Working on an interactive merge tool for Blueprints.
Yep.
I don't know if there's a version checked in that you can just try. I'm not sure if it is. I think maybe it is.
I want to say, was it Dan that was working on this? I want to say it was pretty far along, but got sidetracked by another Blueprint issue.
Yep.
Maybe it was the circular dependency stuff. But it should be fairly functional. I want to say it's coming in 4.6, at least in an experimental version, if not
Yep.
full preview or
Now,
whatever.
is that tied at all with like the snippets? There was some stuff that I think Nick Darnell was talking with Blueprint snippets. I
Yeah.
didn't know if that was part of the
I think
same.
we've talked about snippets on the stream before.
Yeah.
It is separate.
Okay.
So the Blueprint merge tool it's a source control type thing where
Right.
you want to be able to collaborate on these things and have people combine their changes together. If you have a beefy blueprint that does a lot of stuff right now, you kind of need to have exclusive access to it. Otherwise, it ends up being a nightmare.
Yeah.
So blueprints and levels also, we care about having non-exclusive read-write. So that's another one that kind of in our crosshairs for like someday. Levels have kind of a workaround already in that you can make a bunch of different levels already and load them separately. But
It's kind of a weird workflow.
it's super
unless
weird.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
It
So we
still
have
has issues.
We have big plans there. When we did a large world summit here a month ago, kind of came up with a straw man design for kind of the level system 2.0. But that's very distant. But I think like once it gets to the point where we're actually working on it, we can
Yeah.
have a discussion on the forums and get everyone's feedback.
Yeah. No, we've got. Yeah, that's one of the fun parts about working here. I got to say, is just the constant amount of like seemingly crazy but fun new ideas we're talking about, and like, like we're always cognizant of like the near term and a lot of stuff that we absolutely need to do in the engine. But it doesn't stop us also from having some of those longer term brainstormies.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
we just got to keep doing it.
Which is funny because people are like, "When's the engine's going to be done any day now?" I'm like, I don't know that we'll ever be done, right? Like, there's always cool new ideas, new things, new iterations that we can be working on. You know?
We're going to keep tearing things up and changing things, but at the same time, we have to get good at stabilizing
Yep,
too.
yep.
And we're committed to getting better and better at that as well. We've heard the odd complaint about stability. Maybe not odd complaint, maybe like...
Well, yeah, maybe if we want to talk about that one real quick, we kind of knew we had concerns going into 4.5. It was our biggest dev cycle, and just the nature of development is the more time we have to build stuff, the more we accidentally inadvertently break. And we've been, through this whole year, before this we didn't have a release process really, right? We did QA builds, we stabilized some things, but it was much smaller release.
It's more like a snapshot of where we were.
Yeah, and
That's it.
so ever since March, we've been, learning how to release an engine on a regular basis and balance introducing crazy new features, being transparent about what's going on, and also figuring out how to stabilize and, getting a hot fix process out there. Just constantly addressing issues out there.
And every release, there's been new variables, and we've tried out new things with timing or new processes have come online. So
Yeah.
it hasn't really been...
Well, yeah. Like, was it 4.3? We introduced the notion of a preview build, which helps us, catch some significant issues early on.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We also tried preview for hotfixes, but I think we're going to dial back on that because we're like, that's not quite as effective. And on that, I believe our first hotfix is going live. It may already be live right now. Addresses a lot of issues we saw there.
4.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for 4.5.
4.5.1 is up.
Right now, as far as the stability issues in 4.5, we're cataloging all that. I know we've got a lot of this stuff tracked in Answer Hub. We're getting that internally in Jira.
Yeah, if you're having crash issues with 4.5, there's a couple threads actually happening right now on the forums that I'll highlight after the stream, and Stephen and his team are
Yep.
getting a lot of repro cases to try to see where a lot of the the problems might lie with it. So if you get those, feel free to upload all your information there with crash logs, things like that.
Yeah, and over time we're kind of evaluating our release process, see more opportunities for us to stabilize. One thing that I'd love to do, which I told myself I wouldn't talk about it, but I'm just too damn excited, is we switched over to Jira internally from Test Track.
Are you excited about it?
I'm excited. Can you tell I'm a manager now? I care about like tracking and stuff. No, the cool thing is, we have our internal tracking system for issues and feature work and all that sort of stuff. And then, we've got public like Answer Hub and whatnot. What switching to Jira eventually will allow us to do is make that entirely all integrated, right? So as issues are tracked in Answer Hub, you can see that enter our system, QA reproducing it, and then which release the fix is going to go out to, or what change list it's in if you're a GitHub user. So moving forward, we're gonna have more transparency and just better process for that overall.
It's really like we wanted that transparency from day one.
We wanted it from beginning.
It's
yeah.
just a lot of
Yeah.
things that had to fall into place still. But
Yeah.
we want you guys to see what we see in the defect database and
Yeah.
have that full loop on all your feedback.
And yeah, it's an eternal struggle that we'll continue to improve upon. But like the urge to get new functionality, address features, like I said, we feel like we're far from the engine being done. So there's a lot of urgency of like, oh my god, this is terrible. We got to make it better.
Yeah.
But also being very cognizant at the same time of you guys. It doesn't help you to get an unstable release out there. So
Right.
cool.
Gosh. Okay. So I think we covered most Blueprint stuff on the list.
Yep.
We had some future stuff coming up. We're going to support blueprinting volumes, which can be useful. We're going to finish the merge tool
Oh, wow,
and more
blueprinting
compile time
volumes.
stuff. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Blueprinter volumes, that's driven by Unreal Tournament right now, I think. So
Right.
proper lift support.
And
Yeah.
in 4.6, you have orthographic view in the Blueprint editor. It's a small thing, but it's great if you're doing 2D stuff.
Yeah.
It's been missing for a while. So rendering stuff. Want to talk about parallel rendering?
Yeah, so we did parallel rendering.
Yeah.
Did we ever explain what it is?
I don't think we really talked. I think maybe I talked about a smidge on the
Okay.
stream, but now that it's in and on, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think this was one of Pinwarden's like dreams for a long time now, is to really break out the render in a way that we can take advantage of the full capacity, whether it's the Xbox One, PS4, or even modern PCs, right? This has enabled a lot of future forward-looking work as well, where we continue to get even more performance and optimizations in on the rendering side of things. I think that the team has done a great job. It just should silently enable, right? There should be no noticeable difference that it's working other than your stuff is now faster, right?
Yep.
No,
Specifically, the render. So Unreal is multi-threaded, so if your game code is running slow, the limiting factor is going to be your game code. But
Yep.
if you're in a GPU or a heavy render, like lots of draw calls, lots of objects, complicated rendering stuff going on, then this should help dramatically. And it's still being improved, and it's amplified also by platforms that support parallel dispatching of draw calls. Like Xbox One does support this. I think Metal does support this too on Apple platforms. So as those platforms come up and when DirectX 12 comes out, you're going to see the fruits of kind of all this work, this really pay off.
Yeah, no, like I said, probably today the consoles will see the biggest benefits if you guys are targeting that for your projects. But forward looking, DX12 definitely, and then I assume mobile devices is just a matter of time, right?
Yep.
And then on that too, I don't know if you guys noticed, but we've got a task up there. Josh Adams is working on getting our full desktop renderer actually working on Metal devices now.
Awesome.
Which is
that's awesome.
yeah, because right now we have to have these two rendering paths in the engine to support sort of some of the lower spec mobile devices, and at some point in the future we'll be able one render, all the features, just all fully dynamic, scalable.
It's not hard to imagine a time where your iPad is pretty close to your Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
I assume like the theoretical computer of those devices probably
Yeah.
definitely beyond 360 at this point, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. That's cool.
Other rendering stuff. So we're working on in-editor mobile preview, and in 4.6 this is enabled as an experimental feature.
Yeah.
So this allows you in the editor to preview kind of what it looks like on mobile without you having to leave or launch a separate process or anything
Yeah.
like that. The material editor, the viewports, you can just basically be like, hey, what's this going to look like on the iPad right now?
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And just flip into that mode and see that. So it's still experimental because it's super new. I mean, as you can imagine behind the scenes, we're basically recompiling shaders, sort of impostering how they would be compiled for the mobile device as closely as we can make them look on your desktop platform. But
It's like a
Should be really useful.
1,000-fold
Yep.
improvement on
Yeah.
iteration times.
Yep.
And the same thing, like, so for the Android, does it break out, like,
Yeah.
AGC,
Oh, yeah.
ES,
No,
ES2?
yeah,
Yep.
it's
Great.
for all
That's
the
awesome.
mobile rendering paths.
Yep. So
good
that will be
times.
experimental in 4.6. So you can just try it out and give us feedback. We have new material layer features. Material layers were kind of clunky. They're still a little bit clunky. I mean, we need to have improved workflows with material layers, but the least we could do is we added a new kind of Uber node, so you can hook up all your different layers of materials and their blend masks in one big super node that supports up to 10 layers, and that saves you like this kind of jungle of nodes that you normally have to manually author. So that's going to be a built-in engine material node soon. Lightmass has gotten more efficient. I'm not exactly sure the details on this, but
Well, I remember this one actually.
Faster?
Yeah, Daniel Wright. Somebody pointed out that rebuilding landscape, the content we put out there, was
Oh.
using like I think 25 gigs of memory
gosh,
or something.
right? And we didn't notice because someone built lighting on like a
Yeah.
32 gig
Yeah.
RAM machine.
So I know Daniel Wright went in there. He found some like. I don't know if they were embarrassing, but there was some low-hanging fruit in there, right? So, and it'll be an area we continue to improve for sure. And then tone mapper, that'll be good.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. We missed something. I totally want to talk about this. So we skipped
Oh,
it.
the coolest feature ever.
We missed a few cool things. Like, okay, so two really cool things.
Yep.
At least two. Okay. So demo recording is basically, as far as I can tell, fully working feature. I mean, I haven't been able to break it yet. It works enough that you can try it. It's
Yeah.
not. I consider it experimental, but like, it's pretty awesome. So you can basically just right now in 4.6, just type. I mean, you can bind it to a key or whatever, but demo rec and then a file name, and it will start recording
Just outputting video.
network-based demo. It will capture network-based demo to a file in your save directory, and then you can do demo play space that name, and it will play it back.
Yep.
So like a full demo recording, you can time dilate. You can do things like control the recording frequency, like how many hertz you want to record at, and it's pretty awesome. Like I've seen it work with Fortnite. I've seen it work with UT.
Yep.
I've tried it with my home projects, and they just work the first time.
Yep.
So it's going to be pretty awesome. It's,
Yeah, fundamentally, this is doing the capturing the network traffic, right?
Yep.
So it allows you. It's the full game simulation and
So,
everything.
so this is where kind of like Unreal's focus on a gameplay framework that has networking built in really helps you. If you're using our framework and you have replicated state and you're kind of building things in a multiplayer normal way, which you kind of have to go out of your way not to in Unreal, it just works with
Yep.
with replays, right? Even if you're not building a multiplayer game, if you build things using the replicative options and U properties and U functions, then your game just works with replays. It's pretty awesome.
That's great.
Yep. So that's coming. We have root motion blending that got checked in last week. So root motion blends are in. I remember the last time I was on the stream, people asked me about that. I was like, I think it's coming soon, not sure. So that's checked in. And we have 3D transform support in
Oh, yeah, Matt-
Unreal Motion Graphics.
Matt wanted to make sure we talk about this.
Yeah, he might have mentioned it last week when he was on
Yeah.
on the support stream on
Okay.
Tuesday maybe. But yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cool. So basically now you have a new component type called a UMG component that you can plop down into your blueprint. And this guy can be bound to a widget, and then you can give it like the component. It's just a component, so you can give it full 3D transform, and basically it'll take your UI and draw it in the world with various options for configuring. Like you can be translucent, you can have a background, you can set up how input is handled. But
Yeah, he talked about it a little bit on the support stream earlier this week.
Cool.
And,
Sweet.
Yeah, a lot of people asking for that, so it'd be a great
It'd be
feature.
very useful. Yeah.
yep.
Cool.
Yeah, so that'll be in 4.6. It'll be under experimental also, but seems like it's going to be.
Go for it.
Yeah, it'll be good pretty soon. And then we have some other kind of Unreal Motion graphic stuff that's coming online. Joystick support.
Yeah, we're gonna have. We've got a long list of things we want to definitely
Just
do on
keeps
UMG.
coming. Yeah.
And I think there's been a lot of great feedback of features that folks
We've
continue
had
to
a ton of feedback. Yeah. So,
want. Yeah, the other one too. I know there's a thread about Paper 2D. We are still working on Paper 2D.
oh yeah, gosh.
I would like to say Nolan had a baby. That's not true, but he had the equivalent of a baby. But we've got folks on it, and so we'll hopefully, within the next couple of weeks, have some features, some work there to share. So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and we did have quite a few paper duty improvements in 4.5. Like we had a
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
list of improvements. So, but yeah,
More is coming.
cool. I think that's all good. I don't know if there's anything else.
I don't know. We talked about a lot already.
I want to talk about C++, but I can save it for another one if you want.
I get it. C++ is awesome.
Oh, dude, there's
Jeez.
so much good C++ stuff coming. I'll just hype it up, and then maybe like someone else can talk about it on a different stream.
Yeah, we gotta make sure we get time for some questions too. So.
Yeah, we're
We got about 10 minutes or so.
Okay, cool.
cool.
Ray's got to get that haircut, so.
I can't cut much more.
Just making on the C++ side, just making things a little bit less weird. We're trying to fix things like, let you define your own constructors. Just fewer like just strange kind of quirks like, oh, why can't I have like a file with multiple classes in it? Why can't I put a U class in a CPP file? Does that have to be in a header file? Like, why do I get these kind of obscure link errors if I made something replicated? Just trying to get rid of all as much weirdness as possible and just kind of make things look a little more normal. It's not that bad right now, but we just want to make it. We want to get rid of these kind of like common pitfalls people hit just as they're just typing code in a kind of intuitive way. So we have I'm not going to rattle them all off, but even in the next release, we have like a good, 10 to a dozen pretty transformative improvements there.
Yeah.
That, of course, your code will still compile as is, but you'll start to get some deprecation warnings, and we want to move people towards the new syntax, and we'll just keep doing that. But we're going to try not to break your stuff, of course.
Or you could just use blueprints.
Or use blueprints, yes, for more future-proof. Cool. I think that's everything else is kind of. Unless there's anything else you saw in here, Ray, you want to talk about?
No, I think we covered about a lot. There's a lot more coming too.
Yep.
It's gonna be quite a bit of stuff.
And we're still working on 4.6. I only kind of
Yeah.
grabbed a few highlights last night of things I thought were like, this looks like it's either already checked in, but we're still developing.
Yeah, I believe we're still slated to branch late next week, and that's when we'll start our slope to actually getting that release out there. So, yeah, cool. More to come on that. Should we jump to some questions then?
Questions.
Let's do it. All right.
All right, Chance.
So, yeah, you've got it all over here, actually.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I can
Well,
just.
you
Wait,
do
what do
it.
you do here, Chance? No.
What would you say that you do here? So,
Foliage
just gonna grab 'em
updates.
out. Yeah, foliage. Lots of questions on foliage.
Yes,
Lots of them.
we're gonna make them better.
Guess.
Great.
Sounds good
Grass,
plan.
bushes.
We're going to add grass to
placement,
Better lighting and
rendering,
foliage.
lighting, yeah.
I mean,
That's a
We get
lot
the-
of it is, yeah,
Lighting.
Yeah.
lighting to foliage.
yeah.
is-
And in 4.5, we did improvements. Like Lightmass handles foliage better, but I mean, we get the feedback. Like
There's
we
more.
want,
Yeah.
we need it too, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, in the crosshairs.
Cool.
Cool.
Procedural mesh generation. Maybe. I don't know.
So support for it. So there's a lot of other
Context around that?
Yeah, people are making games like No Man's Sky, for instance.
Okay.
Where there's a whole lot of stuff going on. Is that part of our large world?
I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
initiative, I would say so.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what we'll do, but I mean,
Well,
certainly.
Yeah, I mean, the goal there is we can build like nice framework of tools for procedural
building
content placement and generation. I know like Alan Willard has his infamous demo of the fence builder type stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like hopefully blueprint driven, easily integrated to the editor. Hopefully
Yeah.
some cool stuff there. So.
And then what some of the lighting and rendering features, that we're showing in Fortnite with the Daniels on here, the distance
Yeah.
field AO, those kind of things. Like as you add something, it
Just works.
It remaps it right.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Blended root motion. Yep, I think we nailed
Yeah.
that one. It's
yeah,
coming.
it's checked in already, so
Cool.
it'll be in the first preview. I mean, it's on GitHub now.
Yep,
I guess that's the way to put it.
we have GitHubbed it. All right, hair
it has
shaders.
been hubbed.
I know Nick had it on the radar. I'm not sure if it's still on the radar. It is on some radar. I just don't know if it's in the
We
soon
were
enough to be talking about it yet.
Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday, but there's no ETA yet.
Bald humans in UE4.
Like the skin rendering.
Yeah,
guy, that guy.
yeah. No, he's lovely skin. We want to really highlight the skin for a while.
Yeah, it is having super realistic humans is
It's
a lot of
important
us are
to
very
us.
passionate about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I mean, we got to get there.
I don't want to commit to a date yet,
No.
but we will commit to a date someday. Can I be vague without being vague? All right, cool. All right, yeah, C++ plugins from Marketplace. Yeah, this is another one too. Unfortunately, we're still trucking it. It's very important to us. I don't know how far away we are from it.
There's not a whole lot left to do. I mean, obviously, people are making
Oh.
C++ plugins on the actual engine side. It's more like we need to get like all our ducks in a row on distribution and
Version
quality
management,
quality
yeah.
control and
Right.
like kind of the worst case scenario I think would be for us when we release 4.6 the marketplace just gets cleared of all code plugins because they don't work with the
Yeah.
new version, right? So it's a process kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we have to add some features to the launcher to make them help you make sure that, like I download this project from the marketplace or installed someone else's project and it has this requirement of these plugins. Right now, the UX for that is it's not the greatest. It's
Yeah.
basically,
Read the
Well, it's nice.
text.
yeah, it barfs a warning and like, it's like,
Yeah.
so we need to make that better. We don't want to have a bad user experience for people who are, so it's
Yeah,
gonna
last
take
thing
us
we
some
want
time.
is to sell plugins on that people can't figure out how to get running, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So for now, you can make Blueprint code plugins. Well, I mean, Blueprint functionality plugins.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, we're going to get C++ plugins on there eventually.
Totally. 4.6 supporting PhysX 3.3.2. I'm not sure if, or you can chime in on that one if we're
There
taking
was
the
an
latest.
update at PhysX, so I'm pretty sure we updated to something.
We did something.
If we're on 3.3.1,
We're
we
on.
must be on 3.3.2 now.
I know we were on 3.3. I don't know what minor
something got
version we were on.
updated.
Yeah. All right. Experimental version of Niagara and/or Sequencer. So the new VFX tool is still trucking along. Olaf is driving that. I'm guessing maybe not experimental in 4.6. It would be a slim chance of that happen.
Yeah.
Probably in 4.7. I mean, at any time, it's in GitHub if you really want to check out the state of it.
Yeah, I see progress
yeah.
every week on project status. On the sequencer side,
Yeah.
there's some good news there in that we're about to kick off, like sort of reboot the design discussions and get kind of inertia on sequencer finally.
Yep.
So I think just stay tuned there. There's certainly all the work on sequencer that's gone in for 4.6 has been work that has overlapped with Unreal Motion graphics.
Yeah.
So improvements there, but we want to get it started in earnest and
Yeah.
it might be coming.
Yeah, I think we've got some pretty cool ideas, some opportunities there that go way beyond what's capable of Matinee for sure.
Oh yes. Yep.
We're not thinking of this as just an upgraded Matinee. This is like really.
Yeah, fundamentally it's going to work very differently and have kind of superpowers compared to Matinee, although we think that everything done in Matinee we'll be able to import over.
Yep.
So just use Matinee, don't wait for sequencer. We'll get a conversion path going because it should be a full superset, but it should be awesome too.
Cool. Do you want to take on this rendering question?
Lit translucent specular planar reflections. I have no update on that. I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
Progress. Sorry.
Our
Oh,
fail.
graphics guys were on last week.
Oh,
Would
wow.
have been the perfect question there.
Okay.
No, I don't know what's going on with that.
All right. Do you want to scroll down for a couple more?
Yeah.
More questions.
I have to work on like two
Oof.
computers at once.
There's a lot of questions here.
Some guy on the thread asked for loopable worlds, which I think is interesting.
Loopable. Huh.
This like instancing at different
Yeah,
locations, which
yeah,
we've
yeah.
done before. In fact, Fortnite uses this kind of
A
thing.
little bit of that, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
we did it in Gears 2?
Yep. In the editor, though, which he was specifically asking
Yeah.
for, it's a little bit. The editor isn't really set up for instancing things that way.
That's interesting.
It's a
idea, though.
runtime thing.
Yeah.
You can build that in a blueprint that would
Mhm.
instance
Yeah,
things that
you
way.
just
Yeah.
teleport yourself and
Yeah.
you do all the fun stuff there.
Yeah. So it's a tools problem there.
Okay.
Wow,
So,
a lot of questions here.
Yeah.
so we talked about PaperDD. Blender DB4 pipeline enhancements. I know, Chance, you reached out to them. I think they've...
Yeah, I'm continuing conversations with Blender. No real updates at this point.
Okay, no updates. Marketplace UX updates, search, ratings. Yeah, we are working on better catalog and search and categories, and I know we have a comment system coming. I don't know the exact dates. Fortunately, those aren't tied to engine releases, so we'll be able
Right.
to do those when it's ready. Did we talk about next week the Learn tab coming?
Oh no, I
don't think we
don't. I
mentioned
don't
that.
believe we did. Yeah, we do
Okay.
have a number of updates coming to the launcher. Like we're adding a Learn tab where you can find all the learning resources. We're kind of abstracting out some of that from content examples, so you can go places to find learning content. And so we'll be updating launcher like pretty regularly. It seems like there's
Yeah, well, we generally always have a release, I think a weekly release, even if
Yeah.
it's just to
Thursday or
address
so.
issues, right?
And even functionality comes in some of those too. So we'll be seeing those. They're like Ray said, they're not necessarily tied to an engine release.
Yeah.
So don't wait. You don't have to wait 6 weeks before
Yeah.
or whatever the cadence currently is, right? For new updates there.
All right.
We're working on a cool like intro video too.
Oh yeah, welcome to the engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give you a quick overview
Yeah.
that we'll put in the launcher.
It's Sean Connery, like the Welcome to the Rock thing.
Yeah.
No.
In a world.
All right.
Oh, just background like voiceover while you're in the editor. That
Yeah,
would
yeah.
Just
I want to.
Easing you through
I want
things.
my dial a mic button, right?
Can it be,
I can
can it
just
be
like
Dan Vogel?
doing commentary as you work.
Yeah.
nice.
Oh man.
Works on my
You-
machine.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Forward shading. Safe to say we don't have plans on forward shading right now.
There's nothing I know of there
Okay.
now.
Cool. We talked about HTML5, emissive, blah, blah, blah. What else we got here? What does parallel rendering do? Yeah, we talked about that. So skeletal retargeting, yeah. So we got the first version in 4.5, found a few issues. Lena has patched those up, so the hotfix today will address some of that.
Yep.
And I know we've got more and more. I mean, the UX it's a bit of a complicated workflow, so we'll continue to make that.
Yeah, it's the
better
first.
improvements.
It was phase one, and
Yeah.
honestly, like we rushed to get it in because we wanted the marketplace content to
Yeah.
have an ecosystem there where stuff was worked with each other, right? Like,
Yep.
But
Yeah, that's my test case, right? I bought the hero pack off the marketplace, tried to take the blue dude animations, retarget it to the goat
Yep.
dude, and yeah,
The goat.
the goat dude. Sorry, I don't know the official name for him. By the way, that was a fun experience. I went and just grabbed a just random selection of things off the marketplace and upgraded my BSP project to awesome.
Yeah.
It was good times. It's almost
Cool.
looking reasonable. You might want to make a screenshot someday.
will streaming levels be supported in multiplayer on dedicated servers? Yes, that should be supported. Actually, I'd be surprised if it doesn't work now. It's probably a bug if it doesn't.
So streaming definitely works in multiplayer. Maybe this is more about the
This
world
yeah,
rebasing stuff. Though.
this one showed up whenever we were talking
World
about
composition levels. Yeah. We are making some improvements there,
Yeah.
but the actual proper fix is like a more distant thing where, maybe we need to change how our coordinate system works. But we have some ideas. We've seen some of our partners do some really interesting things. Partners will go and even kind of break out all the objects interacting together into different islands and then switch sort of transpose location multiple times per frame to keep things happy on the server. But that's on the more like advanced kind of like scary side.
Long term, lots of things to figure out. And honestly, that's one, depending on the type of game you're building, you may want there may not be
Yeah.
a one catch-all solution there, right?
Yep.
I want to touch on this one. There's a question about are blueprints less performant? Compared to native C++ code, anything is going to be less performant, right?
Right.
That being said, it's totally viable to build an entire game in blueprints.
Yeah.
The things that you can get yourself in trouble is the same in C++ or any code language for that matters. Do less things every frame, right?
Yep.
Just that, and I see that a lot of people, they go like blueprint node tick.
Stay out of tick.
Bleh.
Yeah.
If it, I really challenge you, or good practice there is think about do things in a response to an event happening,
Right.
right?
Yep.
You build that, and then you'll
Use a lot
it's-
of delay nodes.
Yeah.
Use a lot of just kind of latent type things, and set timers. Don't wait for things in ticks.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Don't always listen. Have an actor tell something.
Yeah.
to you, right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a different way of thinking too sometimes. But I mean, it's even in C++, we try to use that workflow.
Yeah, no,
you don't want
it's
to be
just-
spamming tick.
Yeah, game code in general, it's best
Yeah.
to drive it, event driven. I guess is the way to implement. Yeah.
Oh, that kind of reminds me, we have some huge optimizations to Slate coming, and the UMG also, and the editor also.
Huge.
Ginormous, which will make the editor just faster overall and use less battery life on laptops.
Yeah, makes editor faster, makes your game UI faster.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
awesomeness.
but part of that is, part of the optimization is making it so that widgets don't tick every frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
And instead they register for ticks, and we're only ticking a few of them, and that has like sort of side effects. It improves performance in kind of side effecty ways, right? Because now that something's not ticking, we can assume that it didn't go and change its geometry, which means we don't have to recache its geometry more than once per frame also. And things can stick around and we can cache them, which is really cool. So, I mean, you think about the editor UI or like a server browser in UT, it's like most frames is mostly staying the same. It's not like totally morphing around the screen.
All right.
So a lot of low-hanging fruit there.
Cool. All right, we are getting close to time, so
Do you want to roll out the?
I was maybe thinking about doing that.
I don't even know what they're talking about.
Well, we've got the game jam thingamajig. Are we still doing that?
Yep.
Okay, we're
I
gonna do
think
that.
so. I'm trying to pull up the forums here real quick.
Fail.
No,
4 forums. This is our Unreal Engine community manager, by the way.
I can't type on a gummy keyboard. I can
All right.
barely see what's happening over here.
All right, bringing up the forums.
All
Cool.
right, so if you don't know, we're doing a game jam this weekend. It's our first of what's hopefully to be monthly game jams, and so we are going to right now
Are you going to click the button?
pushing changes. All right, so
Wow. Just like that.
That's how the magic
just like
works.
that. Our theme is Bumpin' the Night. So you've got from now until midnight.
On Sunday?
Midnight Sunday night,
Yes,
Eastern time.
Eastern time, okay.
Yeah, basically get a team together up to 5 guys or girls and make a game around the theme. We're going to be judging, me and a small panel here, on use of theme, fun factor, and overall visuals. Basically package it up, upload it to Dropbox or any other file share service, post a link back to this forum, which I'm going to drop in the chat right now.
Cool.
And we'll be showing all the winners next week, all the best contestants, and each person on that team is going to get a month's free subscription. We'll highlight you on the stream, and you'll actually end up in our blog later this month too. So
Cool.
Happy development! Can't wait to see what you guys make. And I
Sweet.
think Ray's going to work on it too, right?
I sure hope I can.
Pumpkin carving simulator.
Yeah, although we changed. I had an awesome Halloween theme thing, but I don't know how it fits with Bump in the Night now. So I got to rethink it. I know. I was gonna win, but oh well. I
All
guess
right.
I'm not eligible anyways.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're going to still have to pay for your subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
Anyway,
Okay.
so yeah,
Cool.
with that, we've got next week is the animation stream. We're going to have Laurent and I believe Matthew Russell on to talk over some of the animation workflow.
In costume. In costume.
Yeah,
Oh.
in costume, possibly.
No.
No.
In costume.
And that's next.
We'll make it happen.
That's next Thursday on the 30th.
How about this? You bring costumes, or I'm going to bring costumes for you.
Oh, great. All right. I'll bring costumes.
Okay.
Day before that, on Wednesday the 29th, Unreal Tournament's going to have their stream as well on their channel, and they're going to do level design, and Sid's going to talk about the
Yeah.
CTF outside map.
Yeah. By the way, if
So,
you guys,
haven't played that one.
I fired up UT last night and played a few matches. I was terrible at it, but man, it was flashbacks
it's
of
fluid.
fun, man.
Yeah,
it was
it's
really
good
fun.
stuff.
So,
good.
if you ever need to procrastinate on your game development, recommend
Yeah.
checking out UT. It's a good distraction. Cool. Well,
Cool,
is that
cool.
it?
Yeah, I think we're good to go. Thanks a lot, guys, for
Yep.
hanging out and
Oh,
chatting
sure.
with us.
It's a
Thanks for
pleasure.
asking
Yeah.
questions and hanging out, and
Yeah.
hope you got some good information. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.